Hey guys, it's Chico. He provides. Welcome back to our channel. And if you are new here, we hope that you like what we're doing here. And if you do like what we're doing here, please give us a thumbs up and share this video. If you'd like to see more of what we do, hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you don't miss anything that we're doing. So, what am I doing today? I had other plans. My wife and I, many of you, those that have watched our channel for a while, you guys know that my wife is a hotel GM. And they get graded on everything. Everything. Salt packets, everything. So recently, they got a little ding on one of their inspections because one of their plants out front is dying. It looks pretty rough. And it blew me away, but they have, the bigger company, the umbrella over the small spread out hotels, has guidelines of what plants can be planted where and what's not allowed. It kind of blew my mind, really. But there are only certain plants that can go in this particular location. So the better option is try to revive this. So she called me. We discussed it a night or two ago, and she called me today. Now I'm not a master gardener. I'm not an expert, probably at anything, but I've always seemed to have had good luck with plants. They seem to do well for me. I don't know why. I don't have any education in it. I don't have anything that says I know anything. So anyway, before I just keep rambling, she called me and asked me if I thought I could come down and do something to help this plant, and then we're going to eat lunch together, which is uber cool. So I am. I want to show you, we've done videos on how we cycle compost. I'd like for you to check it out. We've done videos on our chicken coops and how they help with our compost or are part of it. Please check that out. But I want to show you what I want to do. Check this out. This is our compost. I call it our world-class compost. I started this compost a year ago, and it is ready to be put out. And we actually haven't planted anything in our garden yet. We've gotten tons of rain. It's been a hassle. So what I'm going to do is, my mother and father-in-law, I'm a bit jealous over this, but my mother and father-in-law, they eat one of these buckets of ice cream about every week or so. Apparently it works out for them. So, but when they finish one, they fill it with food scraps, and then we get it and bring it down here, or they bring it down, and we feed their food scraps to our chickens. And I keep the buckets because they're handy for a million things. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use these buckets that otherwise would be thrown in the trash, and I'm going to fill one up with our world-class compost. And then I've got some manure over here, rabbit manure, that's in an old feed bag that's at least 3 years old. It may be older than that, and it is good and broken down. So the plan is to go down and put the rabbit manure on it. It's good and broke down, and then I'll top dress it with this compost of ours, which we have an abundance of red wiggler worms in our compost. We put them in there like a year ago, and they've done their job. They've multiplied, and they work out very well. So I'll be sure to scoop some of them in, and we'll go down to my wife's hotel, and we'll go see if we can fix this this plant. And I'll show you the plant, and I'll try to get your opinion when we get down there. So I wanted to show you what we're doing, and we'll see if this little bit of a God-given talent I have for bringing plants to life will do us any good. We'll see in a bit. I thought maybe you'd like to see this manure, you know, which just saying it out loud sounds kind of odd. But this is 3 years old or older, and I just dumped it out of the feed bag. This is probably more than I need for this one bed. In fact, I'm sure it is. And I'll probably take half of this and put it in that bed over there. Or maybe even a little more. Maybe I'll take 2/3 and put a third there and a third there. But this manure is good and broke down, and I think it's going to do wonders. We're going to scoop up a bucket of that and take it with us too. So we made it to French Lick, Indiana, home of the Best Western Plus, where my beautiful wife is the GM. I said something earlier I want to clarify. It does blow my mind how controlled the plants, you know, what can go where. It does blow my mind a little. But being former military, I understand the need and importance of uniformity. And I realize that in the business world as well. People, when they go to a Best Western Plus, they don't want to find something that is outdated. They don't want to find stuff. They don't want to find a hotel with no plant. They want something familiar. And the folks that own Best Western, that own the brand, they've landed on a plan of action that is successful. So they don't want to change it. So uniformity is a big deal. It's like Walmart. When people go to Walmart, they want the Walmarts to all be alike. You know, some are a little bigger and some has a little different line, but they like that familiarity. They like the signs to all be the same, the buildings to all be the same color, the grocery carts all with the same color. They like that. They feel comfortable with that. So uniformity is a big deal. I'm going to take a look at these plants and see if I can help or see if I have any advice. I'll show you in a bit. This isn't one of the plants that I came down to try to revive, but I'm going to try to give it a little attention. We have an abundance of mulch. I'm kind of tight with my compost and my manure, but mulch we've got a ton of, literally tons. So I'm going to bring mulch down and I'm going to fill this in with mulch. It'll look better, and it will hold moisture when the rain stops. And they will stop. Sadly, the way it seems to be in Indiana is we get more rain than we need for a while, then it stops and we don't get enough. But, you know, I'm sure we're not the only ones like that. This wasn't a plant that they got dinged on, but you can see that it's got some issues here. So we put a coat of manure, rabbit manure over it, and then we put a coat of our compost on top of it. Here's the one that looks really bad. This is the one that they were told needed some attention. So it was real dry, and unfortunately people seem to use this for a butt can. So we cleaned it out, but it was dry and you could tell the soil was depleted. So we did the whole rabbit manure and compost here as well. And then I want to show you something else. Here's its location. It gets virtually no water, no natural water. The only way this gets rainwater is if it's windy while it's raining, and then it doesn't get enough. So I think that it has been neglected, and my wife, she has recently started doing the watering on some kind of a regular basis. But we're going to do more to it. This is just today. The planter was bigger than I had pictured in my head. So we're gonna keep tending to this, and then we're going to tend to that one out there as well. So if you guys have any suggestions, because I'm sure this is going to not be a one-stop fix, if you guys have any suggestions on how to bring these particular plants back to life and revive them and have them thrive, I would appreciate it if you would put that in the comment section below. And I'm not exactly sure, like I said, I don't have any kind of an education. I was just kind of blessed with a green thumb, as they say. If you know what type of bush this is, I would greatly appreciate it if you would let me know in the comment section as well. So there we are, guys. We did our time. We come down, and I think I'm just going to take it upon myself to tend to these 4 plants and see if I can make them look great. Godspeed, guys. Thanks for coming along.